from any scramble position. But if you think about that, right? Like, so you couldn't just have a scrambled cube. There you go.
This is amazing. Can the camera see this, by the way?
So you need to have like a certain initiative to solve it. I'll solve it now. There you go.
Yo guys, and welcome back to another episode of Podghost with myself, Seff.
And your boy Yazz in the house. Thank you so much, Seff, for a beautiful intro again.
I work on these things.
So guys, today we thought we'd switch it up. And I really mean switch it up, yeah? So it's not every day you come across someone that can say they hold a record in the Guinness Book of Records. And today we're so pleased to bring onto the show Mr. George Scholey.
Hello. Thank
The
you for having
champion
me on. Thank
of,
you so much.
I think what would be a nice way
Yeah.
is if you can look into that camera and speak
Okay,
about who you are, what records you hold.
Okay, yeah. So my name is George Scholey. My niche, my talent is solving Rubik's cubes. So my accolades include the most Rubik's cubes solved in 24 hours, which is like a world record that I have. I have 9 national records. I got the UK champion. I became the UK champion in 2019. Wow. So yeah, I've done like a few really cool things with the brand, and I'm a student, so I'm not this isn't my job yet, but yeah, it's like a really big part of my life. So it's really nice to go on here and talk about it with you guys.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. So George, you know what? We want to start off by saying thank you for coming on again.
No, thank you.
I know we've been in talks for quite a while now, but we keep missing each other, don't we?
Yeah.
And you don't even live too far from me.
I'm in Shoreditch, so yeah, not too far, central-ish London. Yeah.
You know, you could have literally walked here.
Yeah.
So George, you know what? Early years, we want to speak about exactly, growing up and growing up into becoming a champion of something that not a lot of people would ever go into.
Oh, it's niche. Yeah, it's super niche.
But what got you into it, man? Like, what?
The love start.
Yeah.
We're like fans, innit?
No, it's a love. It's a passion.
Guys, we're just going to say basically before, we wanted him to do some Rubik's Cubes and we just started hearing noises and we were like, what's going on here? Every single one of them were back to normal.
Yeah, we'll do a couple of demos, I'm sure.
Of course you can.
We'll look good. But yeah, to start off, I guess, so I started about actually 8 years ago now. So I've been doing it for a while.
Wow.
So I was 13 at the time. And pretty much, I actually used to be into close-up magic. So I know this sort of niche thing. Like I was really into doing magic tricks, especially card magic. Yeah. So I became obsessed with that. I did that from when I was 8 until I was about 13. And I was just obsessed with it. And I'd spend a lot of time on YouTube learning tricks, stuff like that. And I got quite involved. I was doing shows quite a lot. And to be honest, I was probably earning more than I do now. Wow. It was super fun. It was a really, really enjoyable kind of hobby that I had. But it was just a hobby. And then I kind of got into Rubik's Cubes because Rubik's Cube magic was becoming a bit of a trend within the magic community. Yeah. So I decided to pick one up and go ahead and learn some Rubik's Cube magic. And then I thought it's kind of bad if I just learn these tricks but actually don't learn how to solve it as well. So I went ahead and went on YouTube and was like, okay, I'm going to learn how to solve it. And it's hard. I mean, it's not too easy. So it took me a few days. It took me 4 days to learn how to solve it. And then, but I was hooked. I was obsessed from then. So I was like, I'm going to ditch this magic stuff for 5 years and just take up this. This is what I want to do. This is definitely what I want to do. So I just kind of went from there. After about a year and 8 months, I got my first national record, top 10 in the world kind of UK championship thing. And then I went from there and more and just I just became obsessed. Yeah. I had a lot of time if you think about it, if you're 13, you're not doing much. All you've got is sort of
But at 13, I don't know what a Rubik's Cube was, for starters. But probably what struck me when you were talking, right? Now, fine, you had a Rubik's Cube. What made you realize that I'm doing this really fast?
Damn, I'm good.
Do you get it? What I mean by that?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, the main part of this is that I lived on YouTube. I was obsessed with YouTube, and I already knew I had this pre-existing knowledge that people were doing it fast. People liked doing it fast. So I was from the get-go, I kind of learned how to turn it kind of fast, and I was I think I'm going to start timing this as soon as I kind of learn how to solve it. So I think from the start, I was this needs to be a speed thing. rather than just a solve thing. Like I didn't want it to be like a party trick and then you look back and 10 minutes later it's solved. I want it to be like, boom, solved, kind of thing, you know. And then like, and then I knew from quite early on that like competitions would be a thing, and I went to my first one after about 9 months.
It's like the determination of like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have played around with a few Rubik's cubes in my life, in my time. Never in life have I fixed it. Actually, one time I did, but that's because I broke it apart.
Oh yeah, that's a go-to. Yeah.
Bro, you know what? That's the maddest thing, because these things, it is definitely a talent within you.
You know what?
100%. I know you might think it's something you can learn, but I'm not having that.
I must admit, I'm quite an advocate for saying that anyone can learn it. And I do believe that. I do believe anyone can learn it. When you break it down, you know, it's not too bad, especially if you had someone there kind of like helping you as you're doing it. I really do think it's quite doable for literally anyone, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I think some people just have that like higher aptitude for it. Like I was just super ambitious and I was like, this is gonna be my thing. So I was like putting in, you know, to be honest, from the very start, I was doing sort of 6 hours a day of practice.
Wow. So you'd wake up in the morning with the cube, or would you
I'd
do it
go to
after
school
breakfast?
and I'd get back and I'd just shoot all the way until bed and do it the next day.
Just playing around with it all night.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, practice. So you solve, you scramble, you
amazing.
solve, you scramble. And then you learn algorithms, and there's all these little.
There are machines now that because some people like feel like when they're scrambling it, they're not scrambling it correctly. There's a machine you can put it in, and it scrambles it for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, and there's loads of apps out there that you can like kind of scan it, and then it tells you the moves to do to solve it. So like, it's super easy to solve it now, but to learn how to solve it and to solve it every time, you know, that's something else. And speed is obviously something else. Yeah, that's the next level. Is getting faster.
Yeah, but that's not something. Like, for example, if we used an app and we want to know how to solve it, it teaches you. Does it teach you to be fast as well, or just to accurately put it together?
It just so like there are two ways. So yeah, it could just kind of do it move by move, just give you the most efficient solution. It just do this move, do this one, and then you need to solve it. Or it could teach you the method of solving it, and it'd be a few more moves, and it would like teach you how to do it.
What Yazz said, I've looked at a video as well, again, coming back to it, where they say you just got to do this and this, and you just continue doing this and it will hit it.
Oh, yeah,
I've done it so many times, it doesn't work.
So that is a common misconception. Yeah. So people, this like kind of parody video came out years ago, and it hasn't kind of left the internet since, where someone said you can kind of just do one move, do another, do one move, do another. Just keep on doing that, and it will eventually solve from any scramble position. But if you think about that, right, that's not affecting a whole 2/3 of the cube, is it? Like, so you couldn't just have a scrambled cube.
This is amazing. Can the camera see this, by the way? This is amazing.
So you need to have like a certain initiative to solve it. I'll solve it now. There you go. But yeah, like there's more to that. You know what? Should we do a solve to set it off?
No, you know what?
Yeah, do you want to mix it up?
Can you give me one?
Yeah, there you go.
Can you give me another one
too? Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to mess this up. Yeah. So
Yeah, mix up as much as you want.
I want to mess it up completely, and I want to show the camera.
Yeah, these are pretty.
You ain't solving
I'll
this.
tell you one thing. Do you know how bad I am? I can't even mess it up.
You're not Mr. Rubik.
So like, here's like a fun fact about it as well. So like, pretty much after you've done about 20 moves, chances are that scramble's been like never been seen by anyone ever.
Serious?
So yeah, it's got 43 quintillion combinations. So that's actually more combinations than there are grains of sand on the earth. 250 times more combinations than there are stars in our galaxy.
So
like,
how many combinations can I put through in this?
43 quintillion. So
I've never even heard that word.
What's a quin? What?
a quintillion is 43 quintillion. 43 followed by 18 zeros.
Can I just add
So
one
it's
thing in there?
it's like an unfathomable number.
Just don't just go left and right. Look, you can spin it any way direction you want. Oh, did I?
Well, yeah, I think you accidentally took it apart, but that's all right. I can fix that. Don't worry.
Have you broken
Solve
it?
that. No, I'm joking. I'm sorry about that.
Well, no, that's all right, mate.
So basically, Seth's just broken a Rubik cube.
I broke the record.
That's very, very rude.
So, I mean, this is a good time to tell you how it's like what's made up of, right? Because it's not as daunting as you think.
See, I knew I was doing something, right?
Yeah, you were doing something. Yeah, this is going into the next bit. So, you know there's a centerpiece in the middle of each side. There's a middle piece. Right. They determine the color of each side. So, for example, opposite this white one, it will always be the yellow one. Yeah. Okay. Then you have orange, you have a red. They're always going to be there. So they always determine the color of each side. So if you think about it, no matter how much it makes up, those 6 pieces, they're always there. They're always solved.
I want to show the camera that. So have a look at it.
It's definitely mixed up, guys. Look at that. Way better than mine. So I just add my 2 pence into it.
Yeah. Make sure no colour's same.
No
now we're going to give this to George.
Yeah.
And how quick are you going to do this?
We'll have to see. I'm gonna just let you see how far.
Can you go for the camera so the camera can see this?
Oh yeah.
That one.
Yeah. There you go. Okay.
Hold on.
Time at 3. When you're ready, tell me.
So yeah, so you're actually in competition. You're allowed 15 seconds of inspection.
I'll give you 15 seconds.
But actually, I'm gonna go now. Okay, so
3, 2, 1.
There you go. It wasn't amazing, but it was okay.
Obviously, you've got to add in the slowness of my finger as well, but that's 8 seconds.
Okay, yeah, not too bad. It's not too bad. Yeah.
That was crazy.
So yeah,
Bro,
that's
you
it.
cannot tell me anyone can learn that. I'm not having it.
Anyone can learn it. Trust me. I mean, you need to put in the time. You know, you need to put in the effort. But anyone can learn that. You can learn it. Yeah,
That's absolutely insane, honestly. So there's all these different shapes you get, right?
Yes, yeah. So in competition, there are actually 18 different official events you compete in. Yeah. So the regular 3x3, right? The Rubik's Cube, that's a 3x3. 9 stickers on each side. You can get 2x2, 4 on each side. That's a bit easier.
Yep.
It's still got like 3 trillion combinations, something like that. 3 million combinations. And then it goes up to 7x7. This is a 5x5. So it goes all the way up to 49 stickers on each side. So you have all of those. You have like one like this, a cube that turns diagonally. So that's pretty interesting. You do it one-handed, you do it blindfolded. There are so many different events, which is also why you don't get bored, because like if you kind of think, oh, I'm kind of done doing like 3x3 now, just move on to a different event. You know, like it means you're kind of always interested, and
so
also you always have the next competition to go to.
So what made you enter a competition? Yeah. You know, was it a passion of you wanting to be the best, or was it more just for self-satisfaction to think, you know, I did it. At least I entered the competition.
I think it was always my end game to be like good at it. So I always thought I wanted to be able to quantify this. I want to go to a competition and see where I am in the rankings. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't good at the start. I didn't even make like the final, you know. I wasn't good yet, you know.
You're still learning, weren't you?
Enough time. I'd only been doing it for 9 months. So yeah, I mean, I went and
where was it held? Was it in the UK?
I think it was in Hatfield. You know, you get taken to all sorts of random places. Right. I went to once the middle of nowhere in Denmark, like literally like this place called Kolding, which is just literally just like, it's just countryside. Like I just went there for a competition before. Wow. Like it takes you to some really cool places. I'm going to South Korea in August as well, which is really cool. Yeah. But yeah, essentially like you end up in all these random places. But my first competition, that was in Hatfield. And I think I averaged about 17 seconds, but I got a 20-second average in competition. And I was 13 years old, and to be honest, I was actually really disheartened. I was quite sad. I was like, oh no, like I got 20-second average, you know.
13 years old, he done that, yeah. Me at this big age, I still wouldn't even know where to start. If I was good at Rubik's Cubes, who do you contact? What do you do? Like,
okay, yeah. So there's this thing called the World Cube Association. Right. So they govern all of it. So they do all those competitions. So you go to the website and you choose your country, UK, and you look at all the upcoming competitions, and you have to register for them. So I think when I first registered, I was on a waiting list because I registered quite late. Nowadays, the registration fills up in like sometimes seconds. It's mental. Like these competitions, they're quite kind of first come first. Well, they're very much first come first serve. Yeah.
So it's becoming like a thing that's popular now.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, it's become pretty huge. Like so, I was at a competition last week. It was in Reading, and there were like just 250 competitors, and they were just like random people. Like, and it wasn't like big names there. It was just like a little competition. Yeah. So it has like hundreds of thousands of active competitors.
So I was gonna say it's like a big community within it.
Yeah. Not in the UK, like worldwide, but it's still like a lot of people competing.
So which country would you say is the most, you know? When it comes to Rubik's Cube, which country would you say the champions or
the champions?
Where do they mostly come from?
I mean, I think the US just because it's so big and you know, it's just they have so much going on there. So yeah, like they're quite dominant. But also Poland's really good. Interestingly.
Oh, really?
And then also obviously like China as well, like the world record holder is from China. And then also Australia, the kind of the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Felix Zemdegs, he's from there. So like he was like
your
always
personal
like the
favorite?
best. He's everyone's personal favorite, to be honest. Like he was like just incredibly like unmistakably dominant for like literally over a decade. So he kind of like he only just recently kind of isn't now like the best in the world. So like he's like the best. Yeah.
So what makes you best in the world? Is it your time? Is the time the main thing?
Yeah. So it depends. So you can kind of call yourself the best if you either get like this, you kind of, at competitions, you compete in two ways. You can either get a national record for the single best solve, just one good solve that's the best in the UK. But a really good one as well, and to be honest, one that's kind of more, people are more impressed by, would be the average solve. Because then you do like an average of 5 solves in competition, and they take out the worst solve and the best solve and do a mean of the 3 that are left, and that's your average. So like it's like a lot of sports, you know, like you can't be that fully consistent, so they do the mean of the 3 that are left. Yeah. So if you get like a national record in the average, that means you're the best on average, right? Which means like you're the best. so
you must have to remain very cool as well, innit? Like you can't be panicking looking at the time.
Exactly.
So you know that big one there in front of you?
Yeah.
Can I mix that up?
Absolutely. I mean, it won't take me like
that one would be
Will this be longer?
Yeah, that will be like about a minute. About a minute to solve.
Nah, surely not.
Nah. I mean, it'll probably depend on how good you mix it up as well, isn't it?
It does. I mean, like to be 100%, especially for 2x2, a bit for 3x3, but for something like that, it doesn't matter too much because there's so many steps to it that it doesn't really matter. Like so you could like get really lucky on one step and then not do very well on another. So it kind of like it can compensate quite a lot. But like for this, the 2x2. So I recently just lost my national record on this because I haven't competed since like for like months and months. So I was like, it's fair.
You're living the champion's life. You've chilled out a little bit.
Well, I got my degree to do. But yeah, so I've had the record on this since 2018, and I only just recently lost it. So I had it for a while. So I was fairly dominant.
That is mixed up as well.
So guys, do you see that? If you just hold it towards the camera, look at that. Yeah. Go on, mate.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll walk you through the steps of this one because it's kind of interesting because obviously you can't just like use your initiative of this and apply it to this.
Of course not.
What is it all different?
It's a complete different.
It's not completely like you'll see similarities, but it is quite different. So the first step will be to create these things called centers.
Can you do it in front of the camera just so you can see you?
So that's a center.
Yeah.
Okay. So you create like it's sort of like a little one of those. Yeah. Just on there. So then you have to do that another few times. So I'm just going to get the one opposite as well. So there's the green as well. And then I'm going to... So I haven't done this in a while, to be fair, but it should be okay. Time lapse this if you want. So then I'm going to... It's kind of hard to explain as I'm doing it, but...
Just do it, bro.
I'm building more centers, and I'm also... You'll notice, essentially what this is, it's... like this, just with extra steps, because all I'm doing is I'm making these little pairs. Of course. So like I'm like these little triplets. They're essentially they replicate the exact same as this. So like notice how I've got like this edge, this 2-color piece. It's like green and white. I'm making a green and white edge, like by connecting 3 up together. So I'm kind of doing it that way. So
you know my brain can't even keep up with that fast is moving.
So then I built all those center pieces now. And then, so I built all those centerpieces. Okay. And I built a few of the edges. Yeah. So now I've got a few more edges to go. So I'll do that.
Oh, man.
I'm getting there. And now, just once I finish this algorithm, it's now just essentially just a 3x3. So I just treat this exactly as a regular Rubik's Cube. So then I just solve that as normal if I can.
Is it weird? You can just sit there watching that.
Yeah, I can.
I like the sound as well.
I'm loving it.
And there you go. Oh, and it's solved. So it's like essentially just this with more steps.
Well done.
Honestly, that is so satisfying to watch.
Isn't it?
It's like unbelievable.
I like the sound and everything, yeah.
You know, even when I first came across you, George, I remember I was sitting on my YouTube, I think it was, and you were on the BBC.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
that's when I first saw you.
Oh,
and
I
I was
see.
so intrigued by it that I went on Instagram and I just found you on it. And I just messaged you and said, I really would love to speak to you about this because it's such a unique thing. But it's appreciated by so many people. You know, this is a talent. And I think people, when they've got talent like this, it should be appreciated, man. Because it could be in anything, you know, you enjoy. But this is just... For me, it's ridiculous. And if you guys love Rubik's Cubes, honestly, you need to hit George up, mate. We're gonna, 100%. It's just crazy. And
thank you.
I never knew there's so much to it.
Yeah.
There's so many designs and... Well, it's ridiculous. Look how big they are. I thought there was only one. I never thought there's so many.
Different types as well, different shapes. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
So are
Different
you
ways to solve
sponsored by Rubik's? Is it?
Yes, yeah. So I'm actually an ambassador for the Rubik's brand. So I've
surprised.
been an ambassador since 2019, and essentially just involves me kind of supporting them. They support me. It's quite reciprocal. I just kind of make content for their social media channels, and they support me to go to competitions, to do like kind of anything. Yeah, pretty much any like media appearance. Try and represent Rubik's, and it's good for them. It's good for me. Yeah.
So where have you been out of the UK?
So I've been to Spain. I've been to.
What was your favourite?
I liked Copenhagen for the European Championships in July. Yeah, that was really, really good.
Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark.
I never enjoyed Denmark. It was
to be
nice.
honest-
It was nice, but it was more like because we're from the UK. Everything's so fast here.
Yeah, yeah.
Over there it was a bit slow and a bit sluggish.
But people don't like that though. People come to London and they're like, oh, everything's too transient. Everyone's so fast paced. But I love it. I mean, I moved from Northampton to here, so I grew up in Northampton.
Yes.
Yeah. So I grew up like literally in the Midlands, kind of like not anywhere.
So what would you say the fun part about Denmark was?
I just think everyone is so active. Everyone like looks so well. They got their shit together.
Yeah.
Like, and the place has.
The funny
got
thing
its
is,
shit
you
together.
look European.
Yeah, I've got that before. Yeah, look a bit Danish or like a bit,
You look
a bit
like
Nordic.
those.
Yeah,
That's what you like about it.
Yeah.
And the girls.
Yeah.
George, we're watching you, mate. We know what's going on.
But you see how at the age of 13 you got into this Rubik?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I just heard you say that you're also doing a degree as well then.
Yes,
So
yeah.
like, coming to the point of like the family side of it.
Mm-hmm.
When you told your family members that obviously, I want to go into Rubik's Cubes and I want to do the competitions. How was it like? Did they think that that's going to be something that you wanted to do like full time or?
So, I mean, I don't even know if it's something I will do full time yet. I'll definitely work with the Rubik's brand because I love I have a great relationship with them. But in terms of competing full time, so stressful. But yeah, in terms of like, my mum is just an angel. She just
bless her,
she
man.
supported me like just so much through my life. Just with whatever I've done, she's just been like, do what you like and just keep going. I think this serves to emphasize exactly that. Like no matter how niche of a thing you take up, you apply yourself, you can get something out of it. You can make a living out of it. Like it's amazing what you can do. So yeah, I think she's just really instigated that in me from a young age, which I'm just so lucky for.
Amazing,
but also she just has been like just incredibly supportive my whole life in terms of like taking me to competitions all the time. Like, because obviously before I was sort of, like when I was young, she could obviously only do that,
Of course.
So yeah, and then I've got an older brother and sister who are also extremely supportive. They're amazing too. They also live in London, with like right near me, so it's great. I see them all the time. And,
Do they do the same as you or?
Yeah, so they don't. They to be honest, my sister, she sort of got semi-far. She almost got to being able to solve it consistently. She got the first 2 layers. Wow. So like the first 2 layers, which was pretty good. Yeah. But they didn't quite both get. My brother just doesn't really have any inclination to get into it, which is fair to him.
He just likes.
He's just sort of like he's like the coolest
wow.
guy I'll ever meet. He's just super cool. He doesn't need to do that,
You said it's stressful. What is the stressful part about it? Watching it comes so easy to you. So why would you say stress is stressful to get into competitions and stuff?
Your whole week or month relies on a couple seconds, So like like if you do badly, that's it. So like I've got a great example, but it's a semi. Also like it's quite a motivational example as well. It's quite nice, but essentially this is like kind of the way that UK Championship has gone for me. So the UK Championships is held every year.
Yep.
And when I started cubing in 2015, I managed to go to the first UK Championships that I went to. That was in Stevenage, in late 2015. So I hadn't been cubing for long. I think I did fairly well in this one, the Scube, as it's called. And I ended up, that was one I kind of pursued for a little bit. I ended up getting a couple of national records in that.
Brilliant.
6 national records in that thing, which is great. And then I kind of I didn't actually even go on the Sunday. The Sunday is always when they hold the 3x3, so the main one. Right. But I didn't even go in 2015, so I didn't compete in that one. So the thing you got to know as well is if you win this, you win UK Championships. All the other events are great. They're amazing. But if you win the Rubik's Cube, the 3x3, you're the winner of the UK Championships. So this is the one that matters, right? Yeah. It's important to care about the others and incredibly well done, whoever.
Yeah, of course.
You wins. Because in 2016, I won this one, which is great. Yeah. But I didn't win this. This is the one that matters. The 3x3, the Rubik's Cube. Yeah. So then essentially 2016, I actually was super lucky. I managed to make the final. So I made the final of the UK Championships.
A final as in two of you, or is it like
so
a
the final is normally 16, then you come out in twos. So you come out in twos, so you go head to head, sort of. You don't solve at the same time. That would be too scary, I think. So you just go one at a time and you solve. And it's all out there on YouTube. You can see if you type in like UK Championships.
Yeah, we'll put the links down below to watch all the Georgia stuff.
And like, yeah, it's fairly nerve wracking, but I was like super, and I came last in the final, but I was like super amped to make the final in the first place. I was like just so happy, and I didn't expect to even make it. So just to do that was amazing. And then I made a bit of progression in 2017. So 2017, I came third. So I came third in the final. So I literally like managed to do pretty well. From last to third. And like, yeah, so like it was that was really exciting for me. And then 2018, I was like, I think I got this now. I can be the UK champion, like the most impressive accolade in the UK, like to win the 3x3. Yeah. And I didn't even make the final. No. I bottled it, in the semi-final. So like I did great in the previous rounds, and then semi-final just didn't do well. And if you don't like your previous rounds, they don't matter at all. They don't matter at all. Yes. It's only if you do well in the semi-final that you make the final. And I didn't do well. I missed it by a few places, and I was absolutely gutted. I was like, "This is it. Like, I should quit," kind of thing. I was like,
"Did you get really depressed? Like, did you get really upset? Some people they lose, they think, "Oh, it's cool and I lost," but some people actually take it to heart.
I think I took it to heart. Yeah, I was like, I was just really, really disheartened by it. I was like, "This is like just to think that I came third." Last year, I was capable of at least coming third. Yeah. A whole year has passed and I've been practicing a lot, yet now I'm not even making the final. Like, it feels like futile, it feels fruitless. And then 2019, I won. So like, that's it. So like, it shows, you just got to keep going. So in 2019, I was like...
So 2018, you didn't even make the finals. Mm-hmm. And in 2019, you came back and won it.
Yeah.
Wow. 2016... didn't make it. 2017 came third. 2018.
So 2016 came last in the final. Yeah. 2017 came third. 2018 didn't make it. 2019 won it.
And how was that feeling?
Like, I think neurologically it makes sense. That's probably the best I've ever felt, because normally like the most dopamine that's ever released is like working on how long you've worked for something. Of course. I've been working like 5 years for that, and to get that was just genuinely the best feeling ever.
Like, for example, if me and you were in a final now, we go one by one. How many turns do we get each? Is it just one?
5. Yeah, five solves.
So if I go first, I'll do 10 seconds. You go next. Mm-hmm. You do say 8 seconds.
Yeah. So my winning average of UK Championships 2019 was 7.68. But it was really weird because the first solve, so I put the cube down. You have these little like speed tap timers. So then you might have seen it. When I put it down, it was 1 move away from being solved. And if you have that, you add on 2 seconds to the time, which literally just ruins the time. 2 seconds is a huge amount. So that first solve was like, that set the average at a really weird place. I was like, I could really do really badly because already that first solve was a 6.1 plus 2 equals 8.12. So it was like a really kind of
matter
weird
of seconds, isn't it?
Yeah. Like 2 seconds is huge, like it's massive. Huge. And then like I got like another 7.0, then 11.3, but I obviously knew that would be removed from the average because the first solve is the best solve. Well, unless I got another 12 or something, but I was hoping I wouldn't. Yeah. Then I got another 7, then another 7. So I managed to keep the averge.
So who was the other guy? Was he older than you? Was he someone you talked to now?
The guy that was going head to head with me, his name's Fabio, and known him for years. Yeah, known him for years.
He's a good friend of yours then?
Yeah, good friend of mine. We're all good friends.
Have that Fabio. Yeah. You're ready. George Adria, mate.
But like, the thing is, like, whoever goes against each other in the final, they might not necessarily be like nemesis, because
that's all.
It's
sport,
however you do in the previous round. Because even if you're like really good, you might not do as well in the previous round, and then. Because like, for example, I wasn't in the top 2 in the semi-final, which means that like I had to then after that watch 2 people compete and see if I might not be UK champion.
Oh, gotcha.
And then
I've got it.
So I then like as they were solving, as soon as they both reached their 4th solve, I knew that I'd got it, and it was that feeling. I got lifted up by my friends.
Oh, that's amazing. So what did you get? Did you get a medal? Was it a trophy? What is it?
Yeah, you get a trophy. Yeah, you get a trophy. Yeah. No prize money or anything. Just pride.
That's pride. That's why you're here now. And the Guinness, when you got into the Guinness Book of Records, I want to explain that record more, because when I saw you win that, I thought, that's you in the history books. That's remarkable,
Yeah,
bro, honestly.
thank
And that's
you.
partly why I wanted you on here, is because it's very rarely you get to meet someone in the book of records. It's not easy.
Yeah, super lucky.
What was that competition? Because it wasn't a Rubik's Cube competition.
Yeah, so it wasn't actually a competition really. So what happened was in June last year, in June 2022, I got approached by Guinness on LinkedIn. So it was super random. So Guinness World Records, they're like executive director. I don't know.
Yeah.
So someone high up, they messaged me and they said, "Do you want to set some records with us?" And I was like, yeah, obviously, like happily do that. Sounds amazing.
That's sick.
Didn't have anything in mind, but I kind of thought there's this 24-hour attempt that's been held since 2012. So it was old. It was a super old attempt. Oh, sorry, 2011, I think. It was an old attempt. Yeah.
11, 12 years.
Yeah. So essentially, I thought that's something that's probably quite doable. And it was held by this guy called Eric Lineback from Canada years ago. So I was like, okay, I might try and go for that. Yeah. But in order to do that, to solve for 24 hours straight, I need to be in good health, good condition.
Could you eat in between?
Yeah, I could eat, and you could sleep if you wanted. But the thing you got to remember is the time just goes on. So as soon as you stop solving, the time just goes on. So it means your average time will just get higher and higher and higher the longer you go without solving.
And just to pause you there, so like you said, you can eat, you can on the time.
Yeah.
So are you getting recorded now constantly?
Yeah. So what I had to do, I mean, this was the thing, right? So getting the record in terms of numbers. Yeah. I don't want to sound but it was old, so it meant that the numbers themselves, they were fairly doable. Yeah. So the old record was 5,800, and then I got 6,931. So I beat it by over 1,000. Wow. So,
you
but
did
it was
6,931 puzzles in an hour.
Yeah, 3x3s. You have to
in
do
a day.
Puzzles. Yeah, solved in 24 hours.
24 hours in one day.
In one day, nearly 7,000.
Yeah, nearly 7,000. There's quite a lot to not get to 7,000. But yeah.
100 is a big number. 6,931.
That is ridiculous.
So
who did the puzzles? Was it?
Yeah, so exactly. So I really want to shout out these people because it literally couldn't have happened without them. So I pretty much had what I did was I had cubers. They had to be cubers because what they had to do is they had to follow computer generated scrambles. So these are very specific scrambles that were definitely going to be hard essentially. So they'd follow these scrambles and then they'd have someone checking them because whenever you get computer generated scrambles, you get a net that matches it. So then you do the scramble, check that it matches the net,
of course,
then give it to the next person. And then whenever I finished solving, the person would reveal it. They had a little cube cover and they'd reveal it, so then I could solve it. And it was just that in circles and circles. Because whenever I solved it, I'd just give it to the next scrambler. And there was a little screen in front of me, so I couldn't see any of the scrambling going on. Because otherwise I could see the scrambles, which was breaking the regulations. This is so highly regulated. So had to have witness statements done. Every 3 hours, they had to do a cumulative amount, how many cubes I'd solved. It was the hardest part, right, was the logistics. It was making sure that I could actually get the records while abiding to their just very set rules. Of course, yeah. So I live streamed the entire thing. I also filmed the entire thing. Yeah. I had a security camera that I streamed everything to the cloud. So every second was there on the cloud, just so I couldn't lose anything, because I just didn't want to have that.
Exactly.
So yeah, I essentially just had these people working in 4-hour shifts, 4 to 6 to 10 to 20. So one of these guys, AJ, he literally was there for the entire time. He was just helping the entire time. So it's just so amazing. Yeah, shout out
big
to
up
him.
AJ. Anthony Joshua, is it?
What's the longest time you was solving them before you took a break?
That's a really good question. I'm actually not sure. I'm really not sure. I overall throughout the entire attempt, I took 1 hour and 15 minutes of breaks. So
you didn't sleep?
Didn't sleep, no. But I ate. But yeah, didn't sleep. Nothing. I did the whole thing caffeine free as well, so no caffeine.
Was there a point where they told you you've already broke it, but you're still continuing?
Yeah, so I had to a cumulative amount. So every time I finished it, I press the space bar and it went up. And I was hoping, and I was so lucky because I was bang on that I broke it with about 4.5 hours to spare. So I broke the old record. So that was great. But then I was I got to still beat it. And also there was this weird thing that was in the back of my head that there was this one guy who in 2018, I think, he attempted to get the world record and he got 6,680, which is a pretty good one. But then he didn't abide to the regulations exactly, so it didn't count. But then it meant that it didn't feel like the real record. So after I got over 5,800, I was like, I just want to get over 6,680 to get the true record. So when I did that, I was very gratified. I was like, okay, this really is the world record that I wanted. But yeah, it was amazing just to have these like amazing people just working in like shifts just to help me get this record. And like, they're just impressive to me. They were just following these scrambles for hours, you know. So yeah, that was pretty amazing.
How long did you hold that record for? On the
I've still got it. Yeah, I got it in October, and I think I should have it for a while.
No. Listen, George is here. He'll knock you out.
But I just thought I'd let George out for a while.
George, before we wrap up, just want to ask you your future plans. You're still really young. You've got so much to look forward to. And hopefully a really bright future.
Hope so.
So what's in the pipeline for you next? Is it you're studying? Is it something you taking this stuff further? What's in it for you now?
Yeah, good question. So I will continue to do this probably. Yeah. So I'm at university right now. I actually handed my dissertation in like a couple of weeks. So then English literature. Yeah. God. So it's not very compatible with this, but yeah. I mean, I really enjoy it, and I just enjoyed English at like sixth form. So I was like,
why
I'll
not
just do it at uni. And I like reading and stuff, so I was like, yeah, I'll just do that. And I really like it, so I'm doing that, and I plan to finish that and probably not use my degree that much.
One coming your way soon.
100%, 100%. Yeah. So you're still in two minds about whether you want to take.
Yeah,
this whole...
I think I'll probably, because I work with the Rubik's brands. I want to maybe start working for the Rubik's brand probably. So I'll do that, and I also want to travel a bit with my girlfriend and stuff. I want to get traveling. I've been very lucky. I've been obviously like I check like Skyscanner like all the time and stuff like that. I'm always looking at flights. So I've been like going. I've actually managed to go away every month like since like December. So I do try to like get away.
So what's your favorite destination? Holiday destination?
Oh, I feel like I'm not one to say I haven't been to enough places quite yet, but I really liked Bulgaria. Bulgaria was really fun.
Really?
Yeah, Bulgaria was super fun. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Just because
where is somewhere that you would want to go?
I think like just I want to like out of Europe would be super amazing. But also I'm lucky. I'm going to Albania in like pretty much as soon as I hand my dissertation. I'm super excited for that because in like it's pretty much Greece but like a bit cheaper and like really nice. So like I'm really excited about that. So I'll be going there in like as soon as I hand my dissertation. So in like a few weeks, which should be really exciting.
Well, George, it's been a pleasure, mate. Make sure you enjoy Albania
so much.
And don't forget us.
Yeah, I won't at all.
So there you have it, guys. The super talented George Scholey with us on Podghost. So if you liked what you saw, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.
I'm just going to say my famous line as well, innit?
You need to.
The bell notification so you don't miss none of our uploads.
So guys, thank you so much. Peace, love, and respect.
Thank you.
Thank you.